Hola world, it is Friday, the equinox, and I am getting ready to go to my first ever teaching class, an intro to acro.
Yeah, that would have been fun. If we could have done a photo where we had a couple of bases and a couple of flyers, that could have been our acro photo. But we'll do it this way.
So are you videoing right now?
I am.
Okay. So should I go ahead and tell you that I've been calling you Peter Pan?
Is that right?
Well, you wear tights, you fly, and you have Treehouse.
But before I go, I want to talk a little bit about the Treehouse. Before I leave, I want to, do an episode, a tribute to the Treehouse.
Hot tub, the pool, and that's kind of where it all started. This ramp, the idea, the genesis came from honestly just wanting to build, and there's the bristles. Get them bristles. The idea of this ramp really started with wanting to launch into the pool.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place.
Then I started to think about the pieces that I really loved about Enjoy and add them in.
And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
And so then came the doorway. But all these templates, like the idea was free-formed for me. The guys that built Enjoy, Brock and John and Gilbert, those guys are the guys who originally engineered this. And you can see where I tried to kind of imitate what they had done, and I used the templates a little bit and just cut them down. Mine's not as pretty, but it serves its purpose. Now the hump over, I did build this whole thing, and you can tell because first of all, it's really hard to measure this and cut a transition that was falling away at the same time. And so that took me a long time, and obviously it's not perfect. And then this I couldn't really draw in here, so I just winged it the whole way through, just board by board. And then right here you can see I kind of have a little bit of a sharp hump, and then it almost just goes to a bank. So it's also not the prettiest thing, but this loop I am stoked on. Imagine this place, I didn't have this much space, and I slowly kind of worked back into it. And then with that, I wanted to do like kind of an animal chin style to where there was a ramp behind the ramp.
Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly.
It was difficult to build, and it came out really good. And I had hoped at one point when I was building it, I thought it'd be the coolest thing to come pumping in here, kick turn, and then hit this thing and just flip, pow, and then out here. But that never happened. I'm a lot older than I thought I was. And then came the double barrel spine coping. Like, I don't need the whole spine, but I like the feeling of skating a spine. Ross actually welded and made this, and it's really well done. I could not have done that. For sure not the welding part. So I didn't want to mess with it. So I built around what he had built. And that's what I got. And so it left me with 4 feet. So I made extensions on either side. Then the coping right here, since you don't really grind on it, is a tree. Part of the trees that I actually cut to make this place. I saved all of them. And then this is the little deck I built just to kind of open the space. And as I said, I kept all of the trees that I cut out of there just because I wanted to make something with them. And so here's a little bit, made a little seat right here out of part of the trees.
I built it in my head initially and then started to kind of form it out. I mapped out how much space I had that wouldn't require me to chop down a tree, which was about 20 feet. And so I was going to do 16 foot and then a 2 foot overhang on each side to keep, rain out. And as I started to build, I put the posts up, I put the ramp in, and then I was like, how the hell am I going to put a roof on this place? you know, that I didn't have a ladder that was tall enough. It's 16 feet to the peak. And so what I did is I started to build a scaffolding so that then I could stand on the scaffolding or put a ladder on the scaffolding and then put the roof on. And then once I did that, I was like, why don't I just build all the way around? So then these are the stairs. It took me a long time to figure out where the hell to put stairs in up here because there was no plan in the beginning. It was just free flowing, I'll say. And so this is kind of like the living room area, you know, where you could kind of look out into everything. Got my little shrine here. And this here is my hanging chair from Nicaragua. So then this is the bedroom. A little mosquito net and a little bed, you know, Swiss Family Robinson style. There's a treehouse in Disneyland, and I think that is a big part of what I remember the first time going to Disneyland, I fell in love with that place. I was like, this is where I want to live. And so I've just had a fascination with tree houses ever since then. And then this is a little net couch that I built. See, it goes up back here so that you kind of can recline. You know, in the fall and spring, it's nice to just nap out here. You've got some sun coming in. I originally did the clear roof for the trees so that they would be able to get light. And then this was a piece of plexiglass I used for a DJ booth I built. And I was like, I really wanted to use it in the treehouse, and I thought about using it over here. But what I wound up doing was making this cool little like dance floor deck for this ramp. And so that's how the second floor got started. I decided to put a second floor on this based on a scaffolding idea. And so it really got chipped away a little at a time. Silks was one thing I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to build.
My name's blurry face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
And there you are, silks. Let's see, then in here, through this doorway, is my wood shop. This map my mom bought me when I first started traveling, and she gave me the pins and told me to, you know, like mark the countries I'd been to. And so I did, and I've been a lot of places. And then most recently I've just spent months and months in Southeast Asia. But I love it there, and so that's where I had thought about starting and then just moving around the world in one trip. But as it evolved, you know, and I got the option to get my yoga teacher training inexpensively in India, I realized that as much as it messes with my OCD that I'm starting an around the world trip halfway around the world, I'm going to turn it into a trip that I have not yet been on. So I'm going to go to places in India I haven't been to. I am going to go to Dubai. I'd like to go to Morocco and work my way back through the Mediterranean, up through East, and try and stay in the summer, spring months. So, you know, in the winter, stay close to the equator. As it starts to warm up, move into Russia. Then from Russia, I think I'm going to wind up flying to Kenya. And I have miles that I've saved up to pay for the airline tickets, the planes. That leg of travel. So I'll be able to keep it still inexpensive. So from Russia, then I'll fly to Kenya, work my way down the west coast of Africa, which I've had very little experience exploring Africa. And then just depending on how far I get and how much I want to explore, most likely leave from South Africa to South America in time for the eclipse in 2019, July 2nd. do that, work my way around the parts of, I really want to see Bolivia, Uruguay, Paraguay, Iguazu Falls, the Amazon. Then from the north here in South America, maybe move into the Caribbean and work my way back to the US. That is my tentative plan. Now obviously, I'm going with not enough money to complete this journey, so work is going to depend, my path is going to depend on job opportunities more than my stubborn dedication to a route that I have laid out. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go to Acro, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take a